Hey YouTube! So, the Nightfall timer is gone and replaced with a score system that allows you to complete the strike in unlimited time. However, if you take too long, your score will go down. So how does this work, you say? Well, for one, your score increases by killing enemies and generating orbs. 2, your score is constantly decreasing by 6 points every second. 3, if your entire team wipes on regular Nightfall, you lose about 1,000 points. And 4, if your entire team wipes on Prestige Nightfall, you are returned to orbit. At 15 minutes, your score multiplier is cut in half, and at 18 minutes, you can no longer generate any points. This is for both regular and Prestige Nightfall. Therefore, if you want a high score, it is important to also do the strike quickly. So, the million-dollar question, though, how do you get a score over 60,000 to unlock the aura for this strike? Well, for starters, don't try this on the regular Nightfall because it is impossible to get over 60,000 points on the regular Nightfall. I did a couple runs and I did some calculations. For example, in the opening area before entering the Infinite Forest, there are 5 Phalanxes, 8 Legionnaires, 4 turrets, and 1 Colossus. You may get lucky and kill 2 to 3 goblins as well. If you differentiate the point system, that's about 5,000 points. Now I did that with all the other sections too, and I averaged about 10,000 points in the Infinite Forest, and about 9,000 points on the Simulated Mercury, and then finally 8,000 points across the 3 phases of the boss. This leaves you with only 32,000 points, which is way under the 60,000. So suffice to say, if you want the aura, you'll have to do it on the Prestige mode. And what you need to do is use the Nightfall Challenge card, which drops after completing a Nightfall. This allows you to add your own modifiers to the Nightfall that increase your multiplier past 1. For instance, you can choose a burn option, which is void, arc, or solar, which will increase your multiplier by 0.15 depending on what you choose. It also increases the damage output from all weapons and enemies. So you'll do more damage, but your enemies will do more damage too. The other part of the scorecard lets you lower your light level to increase your multiplier. Every time you lower your light level by 1, it increases the multiplier by 0.05. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's only about enough enemies in the entire strike to get roughly 32,000 points on each run. Taking into account orb generation, but also the timer knocking down your score, that means most average teams without any other multipliers are going to land somewhere around 29,000 points on their run. The only real way to bring your score up is to increase your multiplier. In fact, I found the most effective way to get over 60,000 is to make sure your multiplier is over 2. 2.2 multiplier was a pretty good sweet spot for getting over 60,000 in a reasonable amount of time. In fact, I got over 60,000 in 18 minutes just by having the multiplier at 2.2. So, in my opinion, the harder challenge is actually to have a lower multiplier, because the higher your multiplier gets, the crazier your score is going to be. Just be careful, because when you do lower your light level, enemies are going to hit harder and you are going to die faster. And that's pretty much it. I have a few more tips that I think will help everyone in general. For starters, make sure you hit every enemy. Even on Mercury, when you're on your Sparrow, stop and take a moment to shoot the enemies, because the 2 or 3 seconds you lose are totally worth the couple of 100 points you will generate. 2, make sure you have as many Master Class weapons and armor equipped as possible. The armor will help you stay alive, and the weapons will help you generate more orbs, and it's 25 points per orb you generate in the entire strike. 3, you want to make sure whatever burn you choose, you also match your super and your other weapons to that element type. That way all of your damage is doing more, including your grenades, including your super, including your special weapon and your heavy. Finally, and this is kind of just a fun tip, if you guys see a Hydra, you gotta kill it. They are worth 1,000 points, which is more than any other enemy in the entire strike except for the boss. And there's no guarantee you'll see a Hydra. They only pop up randomly in the Infinite Forest. The luckiest I've ever been is seeing 2 Hydras in one run. That's 2,000 points, and if you have a modifier on, that can be like over 5,000 points. So definitely hit the Hydras. Anyway, Guardians, I hope this guide was helpful, and I hope it made things a little clearer on how the new Nightfall scoring works. Thanks for listening. This is Mediocre Guardian, signing off. I'll see you guys next time.